Hello and welcome back for another episode. Today is just going to be me. The kids are going to sit this one out. They've got something special coming up in the next video. But today I just want to talk about this little motorized bicycle here and take you along for a ride. Now this bike has been on YouTube before under a different channel name, and it won't be found there anymore. This is the new place to find it and me. The bike is basically the same. I haven't changed really anything in the last 4 years except for that reed valve. I'm still using the same expansion pipe. Well, pipe. It's better than the stock pipe, but it's not actually tuned at all, so it only looks like one. And I'm still using the same stock carburetor too. So this cylinder here is the one I was running previously, but I sucked in a piece of metal. I can't believe that actually happened. You should use an air filter. If you don't use an air filter, you might pull something in. Here's the job that I did on the intake, third transfer port, and the inlet to the crankcase, and there's that gouge. You can see this is really nothing special. It was sort of an experiment, and that's what I did with the exhaust port. I just widened it a bunch and then mushroomed out the top of the roof by about 1 millimeter or so. This cylinder produced pretty decent RPM and pretty decent power. I had the bike up to about 47 miles an hour, so 76 kilometers an hour. Currently, I'm using a different cylinder, and this one is ported basically the same, but just maybe with a little bit more blowdown. So I'm hitting about 79.2, well, exactly 79.2 kilometers an hour. And you can see there's a lot of things that need to be changed. But for now, it's a decent setup. And until I figure out what I'm doing, I'm going to just leave it as it is. Alrighty, let's take her for a ride. Okay, so here I am out on the country roads already. Bike's all warmed up. It's a very windy day today, like really windy day. And most of the ride footage actually is decent footage, but the wind noise makes it kind of unusable. So at this point, I stopped and adjusted the camera, and I'm about to take her home. I'll talk a little bit. I advise you to turn the volume down. The wind noise is still pretty nasty, even coming back with the wind at my back a little bit. It's just gusting all over the place. Okay, enjoy. Okay, so if you've been listening to it at full volume, you kind of get the idea what I'm talking about with this awful wind noise. It's really terrible. Anyhow, this road that I'm riding down, the speed limit on it varies up and down, anywhere from 20 kilometers an hour to 80 kilometers an hour. And this bike will do the full speed just about. And if I'm not careful with the throttle, I'll run myself right off the road. In fact, I almost did that a couple of times when I was figuring out how to ride around here. So unfortunately, there's not a huge amount of spots, especially in the first part of this ride, where I can really open up the throttle. And when I do, I have to back off shortly afterwards. There's quite a lot of blind corners and hills up the top. You never know what's going on around here. There's deer frequently, squirrels come jetting across the road, dog walkers, bicycles, and cars and trucks. So considering what I'm riding here, which is a bicycle frame, a heavy-duty bicycle frame, but still a bicycle frame with a souped-up little engine in it, you know, it's a good idea to be judicious with the throttle. There are better roads to go blasting down, so stick around and I'll post up a video of me blasting down some other roads. But you know what? You don't really get a whole lot more top speed out of something like this with this setup anyway. As 50 miles an hour or 80 kilometers an hour is pretty near all you can squeeze out of something like this without upgrading some components in it. And besides, I'm coming up to a spot where there's almost always deer standing around on the road. Okay, now I'm going to let a couple of cars go past. They've been slowly creeping up from behind through all that curvy section. And up ahead here, they can go 80 kilometers an hour, so they're kind of aching to get on the throttle. Now this bike can keep up for a short little bit, but I've got to go wide open to do it the whole time, and I don't want to kill it that fast, so I'll just let them pass and get back on the throttle later. All right, cool beans. This has been lots of fun. I really had a great time today riding this bike and cruising around. So come on back if you want to see motorized bike stuff. The kids are getting into this. In fact, I got a big announcement tomorrow with Mike. He's upgraded. Anyhow, I don't want to spoil too much. So tune in for the next episode and you'll find out all about what's going on there. I'll check you later. Okay, ciao.